Logan with Superscum.com, and we are here at Rockstar Mayhem stuff in Englewood, Colorado. We are all tired and dead as shit because it's very hot, but nevertheless, we are here with
David from Red Fang.
And you play?
And I play guitar.
Well, very nice. So how has the tour been treating you guys so far?
It's awesome. This is our first time not in a Ford Econoline, and we're sharing a bus with Unearth, so that's new for me, and playing to a lot of people, which is great. It's been really good.
Now, you guys hit this stage fairly early in the day. How is the crowd response?
It's good. Even though, yeah, we're playing at like 2:30-ish, there's still people always up there. I don't know, even though I think we're kind of the oddball on this, if you can consider musical styles, you know, compared, most people are way more metal than we are, but people still seem to dig us, so it's cool, yeah.
Now, you guys released your first EP in 2007. How long has the band been around before the release?
We've been together coming up on 7 years now, 6 years, I guess, basically. So we were together, I want to say about 2 years before we put that first thing out. 2005-ish is when we started.
So why did it take you guys so long to actually release your self-titled album?
Well, okay, the self-titled is actually 2 tour EPs that we put together. So we had recorded tour EPs, basically because we were on tour, I think is the real answer. We were touring so much, and we recorded Tour EP 1 and then Tour EP 2, and then we got approached by Sargent House to do an album. We're like, can we combine these? And we recorded another song, Good to Die, that got added on there. So, yeah, I don't know. It just probably because we were busy with touring, actually.
Now, your album, Murder the Mountains, came out in April this year, and it actually got released by Relapse, right? Relapse.
Yes, Relapse.
How did you land the deal?
We recorded the record ourselves. So the recording process all happened before we were on Relapse. We paid for it all ourselves, and we recorded at the Type Foundry in Portland, and then we sort of shopped it around, and Relapse was awesome and liked it and put it out, because for a little while we were worried we were going to have just an expensive pet project, you know, with nobody to put it out. But Relapse moved recently from Philadelphia, or some of them moved to Portland, so they're in the same town as us, and so it's great. Yeah, we have a three record deal with them, so we'll have two more on Relapse coming up.
We just saw you, was it, I think earlier this year, on the Metal Lines tour. How does that tour compare to Rockstar Mayhem?
Rockstar Mayhem is way more organized than Metal Lines was.
Are you saying Metal Lines wasn't organized? No.
Metal Lines was, it was kind of crazy. I mean, 7 bands on Metal Lines in small venues. Yeah. Sometimes it was like, where are we even going to put all this stuff? You know, it was kind of crazy. Plus, we were in our van chasing the buses from the bigger bands on that. So sometimes we would have to leave even before the show was over to make it to the next show. At one time, our van broke down, and we had to miss New Orleans. We still need to go back to New Orleans. But yeah, I would say even though this is Mayhem, it's more organized. I mean, stuff works here. It's cool, and it worked there too. It was just kind of crazy. You're having 7 bands in small venues, but at the same time, just to contrast, the huge crowds here is awesome. But I still prefer playing in a club where you're more intimate. More
right, that was my question. So do you prefer, like, you know, stuff like that, or the more intimate club scene?
I do prefer the club scene. I mean, this is great because we're in front of a lot of people. That is awesome for us. But just the energy is better when you're in a club. You're right there with people. I even prefer a really small stage, like, you know, barriers. We don't need barriers. I don't know. I mean, there've been shows where, like, you know, the crowd is surging up at us, but I love that. I think that's good energy. Here, it's harder to. I mean, the crowds are awesome here. They are. They're going nuts. But yeah, I prefer the smaller venues.
Prehistoric Dog and Wires are some of the funniest goddamn videos I have seen in a while. Who writes that script?
Yeah, the director, Whitey McConaughey. The credit for the stories and the concept goes to him, Whitey McConaughey. He's great, and he's a friend of ours from Portland, and we were begging him for years, you gotta do a video for us. And then finally he's like, I got this idea, and he told us about the beer can armor, and we were like, yes! That is so great. So yeah, he sort of takes who we are and exaggerates us a little bit, makes us a little bit larger than life, but it's sort of how we are. We like to drink a lot, and we don't go out and battle, but maybe some days we do, actually.
And on your last video, Wires, there was that comedian, Brian. How did he come into the picture?
We met him when we were on tour in Florida. We were playing at a club down the street from where he was doing his comedy show, and we knew him because he does a lot of metal. He does a lot of stuff about music and metal in his act, and he's also on Relapse Records. So Brian and Chris went to his show to try and get in and meet him, and they ended up meeting him and saying, "Hey, dude, you should come to our show down the street," because his show was kind of early, and he actually came to the show, and so we kind of became friends then. And then he just happened to be performing in Portland when we were filming the video, and we were like, "Hey, dude, who could we get to be the clerk in the store?" And he agreed to do it. He was awesome. He was really great.
Both of your albums are available on vinyl and also on CD. Do you prefer the sound of vinyl compared to CD?
I do. I have.
Are you actually one of the younger people who possesses a LP player?
Oh, I have the same record player I've had since I was like 8 years old.
Nice.
And I have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 crates of records. I prefer vinyl, although to be honest, these days I mostly listen to stuff off of my computer.
Right.
Just because it's easier. You can carry, you know, a billion songs on a little device or off your computer. So even though I still do love vinyl and still have the same record player, and I buy records, but I mostly listen to MP3s.
Portland, Oregon, or whatever. I'm German. Here you go.
Say Oregon.
Metal scene. How is it there? And do you got loyal fans there?
Yeah. We have great fans in Portland, and the metal scene is pretty good. It's actually.
Any bands that we should check out?
Yes, Lord Dying. This band called Lord Dying. They are great. Let me think of who else.
Music-wise, how are they?
Ooh, they're. I'd say they're technical, a little bit sludgy, very heavy. Amazing guitar players. It's 2 guitars and bass and drums. They're really good. I don't know exactly how you describe it. It's not thrash. I don't know. It's really good. It's super heavy. It's really good.
Apparently beer is a very part of Red Fang's life. What is your beer of choice here on the tour, and what do you prefer at home?
I like all kinds of beers. At home in Portland, there's a lot of great microbreweries there, but I still find myself drinking PBR most of the time. Pass the ribbon. Because it's good. I like it. I don't know. Although I do also like Black Butte Porter. I like porters and stouts, dark beers. And when we were in Europe just now, I had a lot of great beers.
Right.
On this tour, I've been drinking Budweiser because actually we also have been drinking PBR on this tour and Budweiser. Oh. But yeah, I'll drink cheap yellow beers, but I also like a good microbrew sometimes too.
You guys are considered stoner metal, so are you guys users of the substance?
Yeah, I smoke pot.
What is your take on the A, medical marijuana movement, or B, totally federally legalizing that whole stuff?
I'm in favor of it being legalized. I mean, I still think there's some drugs that probably should be controlled because people are stupid, but marijuana, to me, it's a plant. It can be a very healing plant. I think it's a good thing, and I'd like to see. I heard that even Arizona just got medical, which is
we do here in Colorado.
Oh yeah, well here it's great. It seems like in Denver especially, but yeah, I'm all for it. I think it should be legal.
Are you guys getting compared to Queen of the Stone Age a lot?
Yeah, we do, and we really dig that band, Caius and Queens of the Stone Age. I guess that's what you might call stoner rock or new stoner rock. To me, Sabbath, Black Sabbath is stoner rock. I mean, you know, whatever. Maybe we'll call them Doom or whatever, but and they're, by the way, probably my #1 band of all time, Black Sabbath. But yeah, we do get compared to Queens of the Stone Age. I think it's that we have the nicer vocals, you know, a nice melody with the vocals, and then just heavy guitars. I think that's where that comparison comes in, and we're definitely influenced by them. Their first record is one of my all-time favorites. I love that record. They're great.
What's next for Red Fang after that?
After Mayhem, we hopefully are, well, we have two options, either a tour in the U.S. in November and December, or to Europe again, which I would love to do either one of those, actually. And I can't say who it's with because nothing's confirmed yet, but I would love to go. We'll either be in the U.S. or in Europe in November.
odds and ends. I asked that every band I interviewed today. Prior years, each band was in charge of a themed after party.
Oh, yeah.
Was it already your turn? And if it was, what did you do? If it wasn't, what will you do?
Yeah, ours is coming up. We're doing ours in Raleigh, North Carolina, where me and John both have lived before. And we're going to do what's called a wizard staff party, which is where you're drinking a beer. When you get through with your beer, you have to take some duct tape and tape it onto the bottom of your new beer. So
and then
by
as
the
you
end
go
of the
along,
night, you get a long thing, and it becomes harder and harder to drink. So we're going to do the wizard staff party.
Oh, cool. You guys are also sharing the bus with Unearth.
Yeah.
Any stories that you can share on air?
Yeah, not so much, but I do want to say those guys are rad. They're awesome. We didn't know them before this, and they're awesome. It's great that we're sharing the bus with them. They've been really cool. Yeah, it's crazy stories. I don't want to give anything away.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, well, thanks a lot, man, and good luck with the rest of the tour.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks.